So, I told y'all it was coming, podcast. And just wrapped up a shoot with the one and only Cat. So, how did we get here?
Well, okay, so first it started with me coming to El Paso and looking for photographers, and I found you, and I was like stalking you for a couple months. No shit, I really was. And because I've always loved black and white photos, I've always been obsessed with them, and you primarily were doing black and white.
Correct.
I think there was like maybe one color. One or two.
Yeah, I dabbled it in there every once in a while just to try to satisfy those colored people.
Yeah.
That didn't even sound
and
right.
I know
Yeah, right. I'm about to get banned already. But yeah.
Well, and they were, I think, earlier work.
Yeah.
At that time, and I don't remember how we got our first shoot. But I just remember, I remember you saw a shoot that I had done with another photographer and asked me to be your muse. Because at that point I had reached out a little bit, kind of testing the waters with you to see, what the prices were, what your schedule kind of looked like, what a shoot would be,
So it sounds like we found each other the same way. Because I was kind of low-key trolling, stalking your page, trying to wait it out, waiting like, okay,
let's see.
Let's see if she'll book it, right? And I tried to patiently wait, and I saw you doing work with other photographers, and I got in my feelings. So I was like, you know what, I got to snag her. So I sent you a message like, yo, let's work. Let's see if our visions match and our styles and all that kind of stuff, energy, and I think it did.
Yeah, for sure.
So based on the fact that you said you work with other photographers. Talk about that. Without dropping names. Don't drop no names.
I'm not going to drop any names at all. Whether I like them or I don't like them, or I like their work or I didn't like their work in the end. Why I was so attracted to Ken was because of his work being primarily black and white. And a lot of the photographers here, while being very talented or not, were already outside of what I was obsessed with, really. So I wasn't completely like locked in. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But I still absolutely love their work. Worked with highly edited to unedited, but not what we do. Anything close to it.
So what's been the difference?
I think, personally, I think it's the quality of work.
Okay.
I think you're really quick too. Like you're always really quick with editing.
Yeah, because I try to tell people, I try to get it 95% where I want it in camera. So there's not a lot to do.
Yeah, so I get photos back really quick, so that's really great. I get amazing photos. We always talk about the vibe before, what we're looking for. We're always pushing the limit of, what we can and can't do.
Yeah, because there's been a couple of things where you were comfortable and I wasn't. I probably never said it.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, where I had a theme and you wasn't quite comfortable with it, but we pushed it and we just tried it anyway.
Right.
And I think that's very important when it comes to having a muse or someone you're working with consistently, is pushing each other's boundaries and challenging one another. Whether it be whether it be just with the outfit, the location, the lighting, the style, and I think so many people shoot with the same people, and it's the same kind of work, which is why I'm like, I got to try to find a way to get out of that crowd. So you've talked about the good. Have you had bad?
Have I had bad? I don't think I've had bad experiences personally with them. Probably not what I would have expected. But I've heard so many, stories about other photographers not even delivering work.
Oof.
People paying and not even getting a photo shoot, So I have heard some pretty bad stuff, especially locally for here in El Paso. which is really unfortunate. But I also haven't found photographers who are willing to push the boundaries with me either. So that's another thing. Like as a model, I need a photographer who's like, hey, let's push the boundaries. And I personally feel like stage one is complete. Like I feel like we've kind of set a base already.
Yeah, we have.
And now like really pushing that envelope,
Yeah.
starting to. But I was never able to find a photographer who was willing to even, set a base with me. Because artistically we were just on two different levels.
Do you think it's because they're scared of the challenge? As far as like, they don't want to do it because they may not like the results?
That or they're not confident. I won't name drop, but I definitely feel it's a confidence thing in their own work of what I'm asking them to do is outside of
their own little comfort
right,
box.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Like how do you find someone when someone's not comfortable even, going outside of their own envelope?
But I think that's where I talk about where like you as the client or potential client or future client, there's nothing wrong with asking to look at a photographer's portfolio, their body of work. It's almost just like you're in the tattoo and piercing industry, right? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't blindly go in and ask someone for a sleeve of this and then just have them ink me up without looking at their portfolio to see if they're even capable of doing that.
Right.
Because it's such a permanent thing. And it's no different than in photography where it's okay as the client to look at people's portfolios and say, hey, yeah, I see you do this, and this looks like this is your comfort.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to achieve what I want to achieve, and just keep pushing and find someone else that can and will produce what you're looking for. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with shopping around for styles. Because my style of the way I work and edit and everything else, being a natural light photographer, may not jive with what you're looking for. You may be looking for the full kit and caboodle studio shoot, and that's not what I'm doing. So to ask me to break my style and say, well, do you mind going to a studio? Yes, I do mind, because it's not my style. I have no problem with telling you no. I may lose a little bit of money, but at the same time,
you're staying true to yourself.
Exactly, because if I go in there, I'm not going to be mentally 100% into that shoot because I am despising the lights, the V-flats, the backgrounds, the little corny
the
little...
vibe's all off
my vibe is off before I even show up.
And then the work isn't gonna...
It's gonna reflect.
It's gonna well, yeah, it's not gonna reflect what you really want. It's gonna reflect the vibe that is already started.
Right.
And I think it's been hard too, for me as a model when we talk about portfolio work, because I'm older, I'm 34. I'm not some young model. And a lot of times I feel like I have to be younger and have this younger vibe when I'm working with other photographers, because they are younger, or that's what their vibe, their clientele is. And that's also been something that's really hard. And with you embrace that. You're like, hey, she's older, who cares? I'm gonna work with her, she's great, she's aging amazingly.
Right, because I'm older, right? So if I think because a lot of the photographers here, hobbyist photographers or the people that are just starting, the young fan base and photography base and model base is huge here.
Oh yeah, huge.
But they're not really producing artistic work. It's just a pretty girl, half dressed. The poses they could be worked on. The compositions are poor in some of the work, and it's like you just chose a pretty girl willing to sit in front of your camera, whether it be for free or for cheap. But you're not really creating.
Well, it's hard because it's you then have that same photographer doing that same shoot with 5 or 6 other girls.
At the same time?
Well, in the same outfit.
Ugh.
Well, yeah, like it's okay. Monday I have this shoot with so-and-so, but I also have, Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the same style shoot, but it's just different models.
Yeah, that's boring.
Well, and I've seen that though.
That's boring. There's no way. I don't understand how someone could do that. I couldn't. I
There's a
have
lot
to
of
change
that.
it up. I guess my ADHD, I call my ADHD the attention to detail highly dope syndrome, right? Because I flip it. But
Oh, okay. I think that's another thing too. Is I have ADHD, so I feel like you don't judge me on that.
I can't. I'd
Working
be
with me.
hypocritical. Like I got the shit. So I couldn't judge you on that.
Because I think it definitely reflects in my work that I have ADHD.
How so?
Well, okay, like I was late today for like I'm always late to
Always.
shoot. Always,
Always. Always.
always.
If
I
there was
just
a
get
fine
to
for
shoot.
being late, I would get paid booking with you every time.
Yo, for real. You
I'd
could
book with you
bank
just to
money
get the late fee.
that I'm gonna be like at least 10 to 15 minutes late.
But it's always life stuff though. It's always something with the kids
That
and
or,
stuff like that.
or
So that's I can deal with
lost
that.
track of time, which is most of the time.
Oh well, you should never said it. I was always thinking it was some grown woman shit like with the kids, right? But okay, now I know that. Cool. I get it. All right. So you've been telling me lies. No, I'm just
Shit.
kidding.
No, I was kidding.
No.
Well, no, not. There are when I tell you, hey, it's with the kids. But
Yeah.
I do, and sometimes I feel like it throws the vibe off. But because you understand me, and because we work so much together,
Right.
that you're like, look, I know she's gonna be late.
We were supposed to do this at 10, and it ended up being like 11 something.
Damn.
Yeah, but it's all good. I had nothing else really planned because I know once I put Kat on the schedule, just block everything else off because it's already going to be an hour or two behind, and then no, I'm just bullshitting. But no, like
He's
I will.
not. He's really
I'm
not,
not.
y'all.
I will tell you too though, you do have people in your corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who this follower was, but like I think after the first or maybe the second shoot, I got a DM that basically said, yo, I appreciate it. Your work with Kat is great. I appreciate you not hitting on her and da 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 da.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so that just shows y'all, models talk.
We do.
They got people that
Yes.
are, they ask them, hey, how did it went? Did he hit on you? Did he try to, trust me, they talk. So that's why I say, man.
Yes, and that's one thing. Like we do talk with each other, and we know which photographers not to work with, or which ones that we know will be inappropriate.
Or bring an escort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring one or two people and just say, hey, this is my crew. They're gonna help me with hair and makeup, and because they're going to either push the envelope or they've been known to do or make inappropriate advances. And one thing, Ken's never done that. Like he's always been like, oh, you look great, you look awesome, that kind of stuff. But he's never pushed that. And I have a lot of guy friends, and they talk.
Yeah.
They talk with each other. They get annoyed, when I tell them stories about dealing with men. And so I'm not surprised that they would reach out.
Oh yeah, they definitely reached out.
I
I was like, bro,
surprised.
okay, cool.
Right.
I'm excited at the fact that she has backup, but she don't need it.
See,
I'm
but
good.
I don't need it. That's the thing. I don't with Ken. Like I never feel uncomfortable. Like my own uncomfortableness is my own confidence thing. It's never because like Ken's like being inappropriate. It's only my own thing.
But like, especially being a male photographer, right? I gotta walk on eggshells when it comes to that because even with my words of encouragement during the shoot, like I can't say, oh, you look sexy, oh, that's hot, oh, that's gorgeous, right? Like, oh, no, like because the model could easily take that as you're hitting on them, and it comes off a little thirsty, right? So I gotta pick words appropriately based on the fact that I'm a male photographer. I'm a big dude, 6'1", 220 something pounds. It's easy for me to I can push the boundary, or I could easily say something to offend someone and put them in a small space because I'm such a big person that they feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, we are in small spaces a lot of the time.
Yes.
We're, very in each other's bubbles.
Right.
We're hardly clothed at times.
Right.
So like it can be very intimidating. And as a woman, it's hard. Like sometimes you're like, okay, well, is he being a photographer? Is he being a guy who's hitting on me right now?
Right.
So you can take it as like, well, I don't know. but you've always like, I've just done really, really good at like, hey, like I'm not passing this boundary. And
Right. I'll tell you, hey, go in the bathroom and change. Or if you are changing in front of me,
not like
I
I'm just
walk
like
off.
start changing in front of me.
Right, I just walk off, right? Like, and I'm acting like I'm going through photos, which I am.
Which
I go
also,
through photos as they change.
that also says like how confident, you know, of like that Ken's not gonna push the envelope of like, oh hey, I need to change a shirt real quick. I'm gonna turn around and just change the shirt. Mm-hmm. Because I know Ken's not gonna do anything.
Right.
Like that's how like, hey, it's cool. Like there are times where, you know, I don't have a shirt on and Ken is photographing me, so I feel comfortable enough to just like out real quick, you know?
Yeah, but at the same time, you got to make quick work of those type of shoots, right?
Yes.
Like you can't be in there taking your time, and even
No.
if, with depending on lens choice, if I'm getting ready to get within that critical focus and distance, which is basically the closest I can get with said lens, is this, because I want a high detail shot, I will let her know I'm about to get all in your space real quick.
Oh yeah, every time.
I don't just jump in your space and be all in you. Like, no,
Yeah.
like, and even if I reach to adjust hair, I say, hey, I'm gonna touch you. I'm going to move your
Yeah.
hair. Or I say, hey, you have a little curly cue that can you just shake your head? Because I don't want to encroach upon your space because I know the vibe that puts off. Even though
Right.
we've been working together for months, I still want to make sure that I'm respectful because I know y'all talk, period. Like, I don't want to be that dude. So let's
Yeah,
pivot.
you don't want to be that guy.
No, because once you
really
get that wrap, you're
don't.
not getting rid of it. You may as well
No.
pack your camera and move. You're not getting rid of it because, for example, if I follow you or someone else, they 9 times out of 10 they are friends with someone I've either worked with or I've had conversations with working with.
Yeah.
So the social media bubble.
Well, I met people
Closes all
at
of
the
that.
shop at the Good Life with clients. I was piercing them. They knew you, and they instantly recognized me because they followed you
Oh,
and
shit.
your work.
That's
and they were
dope.
like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
you're Cat Zombie. You work with Ken." And I was like, "Yeah." And
How
they,
did- yeah.
it was like a surreal moment for me. Like it was so.
Felt like a
crazy.
celeb?
Yeah, it was like insane. I was like, yes. They were like, "Oh my god."
That's
And
dope, man.
So people do.
But I like the fact that the word is spreading, and they may not call me, they may not book it, they may not do any of that, but the fact that they see it
Right,
and they
yeah.
see you, that means the work is spreading. So that's
Yeah.
a good sign.
It is a good sign.
That's
It's
a good
totally
sign.
awesome, yeah.
Because we've been in some real, I ain't gonna say sketchy locations.
Yes.
Dark parking lots.
Girl.
Yeah, garages, staircases. But I
The
just,
garage was the craziest
that
one.
was some good work.
That was great work,
Yeah.
but it was a crazy location because of it just being super dark.
Yep.
It was a parking lot garage. It was really dirty.
But it added to that kind of, added texture to the photos and
It
some
did.
grunge and
Yes.
and I don't like always working in a squeaky
Those
clean environment.
staircases.
Yeah, she kills the staircase.
Like, I
if you
love
want great
those.
photos of Kat, just put her in the staircase and just watch her go.
Yes.
See,
I don't
you
know
see the excitement
why.
on her face too.
I just love staircases. So stupid.
So, speak to, as a model, speak to what you would advise other aspiring models to do. Because right now, the Instagram model influencer thing is huge, and I don't think it's gaining the traction that a lot of women are thinking it would get them.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of copy paste. But my biggest thing I think would be to start somewhere, right? Like start doing, those free shoots whenever you can. Do not just say, oh, I'm not going to do that shoot. try to do every style shoot you possibly can. You want to be as well-rounded as you can. You want as much work as you can get. You want to be able to talk to people and have those connections. I think another big thing is because of that whole Instagram thing, it's like you have to be young, right? You're not going to be young forever, okay? It's only a short period of time. Live it up, love it up, do everything that you can, but embrace aging, because if you don't, you're just like, oh my God, those are my good years. Embrace it and know that modeling doesn't end, it's not just from when you're younger. You can see models who are, in their 80s and they're freaking killing it,
Tom Brady's wife is still killing it.
Yeah,
right?
And she's much, much older.
Yeah.
You look at Helen Mirren, and she's just absolutely freaking gorgeous. So embrace aging with modeling. And that's how you stay young at heart, I believe personally.
So let's talk, because we kind of talked before we turned the camera on.
Yes,
I'm like,
we
no,
did.
save it. No, that's great.
Okay.
So talk about the black and white piece, right? Because we were talking and you were saying that a lot of the high-end fashion editorial work is all what?
Black and white.
And why do you feel that is?
I think because it just captures this classic essence that just lives on. Like you just can't beat black and white. It just lives on forever and ever. They're just absolutely beautiful photos. And I think a lot of people they overlook black and white photos so much. And I think models do, and I wouldn't avoid black and white in your portfolio at all. Because if that's what, high end is doing, that's obviously what they're looking for. So put it in your portfolio, for
I think
sure.
For me, and maybe it's my ADHD, I'm not sure, but even when I did color work, I got so wrapped up in the colors in the picture and not the expression of the person. And was it a good composition? Was it, how was I was more, even doing processing, I was messing with the colors a lot more than I was worried about, is it a good photo? So with black and white, it stripped all of that away. And I went straight to, is it a great photo? Is the lighting is the way I wanted it? Is the texture there? Is the vibe there? I didn't care about the color. So I try to tell as many people as possible, like, color is distracting. And I think a lot of people shy away from it because we see in color. And the clothes we buy are based on the color or the way it looks, right? So to tell people to strip that away, it almost feels like it's an abstract thought.
Yeah.
Because we don't see in black and white, we see in color. So to strip that away, it's like, ugh. And I've run into clients who are like, no, I bought this dress just so the color of the dress, the lipstick, the eyeshadow, I don't want it to take away from the photo. I want people to look at your eyes, look at your expression. What is she thinking? What is she staring off to? Or they put themselves in the photo and be like, I can almost feel what she's feeling.
Right, there's an essence there.
Right, versus them saying, oh, she got some pretty lipstick on. I love that color red. Oh, that's a great dress. Oh, look at the green. Look at the picture. Look at the person. Look at the composition. Look at all these artistic things in the photo versus the colors.
And I feel like it's harder as a model to do black and white than it is color photos.
Because y'all go out and y'all buy these cute ass outfits based on color and you want it to be captured.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of editing that goes on, to faces and stuff. And when you're doing black and white, it makes it a lot harder. You have to really have that face honed in, that
Yes.
expression
Yes.
really there. So it captures it in that black and white photo.
And then even the way I work, just know we may shoot for an hour. You may get 30, 40 images for a paid session, right? I'm looking for that one.
Yeah.
I'm looking for that one,
that's the crazy part is really we'll shoot for an hour and a half, but we're really just looking for one photo.
One photo.
And
one
we'll go to
unicorn
different
nugget.
rooms, all different places. There's so many photos that people don't see that we have, but we're really looking for that one photo to submit,
Right.
That's really what we're looking for.
But that's the hardest part of being a photographer and being someone that's kind of a critic of your own work, because I can sit there for hours just thumbing through catalog.
Yeah, because I don't care about the 5. I put out a lot of stuff. I'm like, oh, I really like these.
Right.
But we're really looking for that one.
I may show
yeah.
10, 15 throughout the time and whatever on social media, but there's still some photos y'all haven't even seen because I'm waiting for the right time to throw it out, to submit it for publishing.
I know that's
that
what's
kind of thing.
crazy is so crazy is I've known this for a while that Ken has sat on photos because he's going to submit them at the right time, and it annoys the absolute hell out of me.
Because
But it's awesome at the same time because I look at the work that we have put out, right? And I'm like, to know that's not even the best.
no.
Does that make sense? That as a model is damn, that's good.
Because I put out fillers. I call a lot of the work that I put out fillers. I put my tentacles out there. I'm throwing it out there. I'm trying to tag certain industries, trying to tag certain magazines, trying to tag certain things just to get them online. And then they'll come online and be like, yo, what else you got? And then that's when I show them the real stuff, the juice.
Yeah.
I can't just give it all away on social media because honestly, I don't feel like a lot of y'all on social media even give a damn. Because even if I post a post with a question, I get 0 comments answering the question.
It's hard, man, that algorithm.
It is. The algorithm is terrible because people just.
I feel like we're just fighting the algorithm right now.
It is.
It really
That's
the
is.
hardest part.
I'll post something that I don't even feel like is a great photo and then it'll pop for 200 views on a reel. And then I'll post something I think is the shit. But if I post it at the wrong time of day,
I know, why?
it gets 12.
It's crazy.
It's an algorithm thing. And then if you play around with TikTok or even Instagram Reels, play around with not posting for a while and then post. It'll pop every single time.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's almost like it's telling you, I miss you, so I'm going to throw all your shit out there, get you a lot of dopamine, and then you'll post again the same day or the next day, thinking you're going to get 500 views again, you get 12. And it's like, yo, what the you did this shit to bring me back, right? And even when I've heard people talk about, even with the Instagram and social media thing, that when you post something, close the app.
Really?
It's like the algorithm will throw it out more to get you more notifications, so you turn your phone back on and look at that. They just want you on it. Close the app. As soon as you post something on Instagram, close the app, because then they'll start pushing it out to get you more notifications to get you into the app. Because they only get paid.
Stop chasing.
Yes. Stop chasing. Close the app. That's a little nugget for all y'all out there trying to get a little bit more shine on Instagram and social media. Close it after you post something. The algorithm is weird. It'll just keep throwing it out just to get you more notifications, so you turn the app back on and log back in. All they really want you to do is just have screen time.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, that's all they really want is more screen time. The more you're eyeing it, the more they're getting paid. So the more people that are in it, that's why they just start pushing out notifications.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. So.
But I do remember when we first started, you asked me, you're like, hey, where do you want to go with all of this?
Yeah.
What is your vision? And I told you, I was like, Ken, I want to be published in a magazine. I want to be working with Dior, big brands.
Let's talk about
in black and white.
Let's talk about that, right? Because I know a few people that on their bio it'll say published Published to where though? Right? Because it's so easy to get published. Am I right or wrong?
Fucking Ken, we're gonna get freaking heated.
No, but published where?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Is that a flex when people just? I can easily because almost every time I post, I get one of those little international magazines hit me up.
I've been published in several magazines.
So why can't you have your tag on your thing and somewhere in your bio saying published model?
Because I don't put it on there.
Why?
Because they're not. It's not the level of published.
Thank you.
To me,
right.
That I would be like, yep, fucking bet. I'm going to fucking grave. I got published.
So what
the
you're
way
saying
I
is,
wanted to be published.
So what you're saying is there's levels to this shit.
Hell yeah.